I am now recording. So Brenda, take it away. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming to this session. This is a Q&A for QM newbies and QM curious. So if you're new and you're not really sure what are you guys talking about with QM, how can I use the rubric, or what membership options are available. We did originally plan to do a QM overview session, but that takes about an hour. There is a presentation available on our website that you can download it, and I will put the link in the chat here in just a second. It's available for anybody to download. Excuse me, this overview session. It takes about 50 minutes to present it. It's in the right sidebar of this page on professional development for organizations. So we figured that rather than throwing a lot of information at you, that you may want to just come and see, ask your big, broad, sweeping questions or your very specific technical questions, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. Now, if you've been involved with QM for a long time and you have some definite, Sue, you're going to have to log out of this room to log into the new room. So
I'll get her to link too. Hang on.
Thanks. And so, Steve, yes, we are happy to answer any questions that you have. So Jim will make sure that you're a panelist, and that way, if you have a question, you can open your microphone and ask your question. You're also welcome to put it into the chat or the QA, either one of those places. So I'm breaking all of the rules by doing the session this way using a webinar.
So Brenda, I'm totally new to QM. I was sort of told very recently, hey, you're going to go to this conference and learn about it. And so that's why I showed up, was just because getting a general overview would be very helpful for me. But I can definitely refer to the website and look on there. And
Sure.
If I do think of anything as we move along, if other people know more than me, which everybody does, I'll definitely chime in. Thanks very much.
Well, sure. Do you have any specific questions to start off? Because I'd be happy to talk about anything about Quality Matters. I've been involved with QM for many years, and I'm happy to answer any questions. What institution are you with?
I work for a charter school in Riverside County called Method Schools.
Oh, fantastic.
We've been around since 2014, and this, sad to say, this COVID-19 situation hasn't really affected us at all, other than positively. We have a lot of people reaching out and saying, hey, you guys know how to do online education, so we want to join you now. So we're looking for a big boom starting next year, with the uncertainty of schools reopening and such. So I know that my founder has been talking about QM for several months. She's fairly well adept in what we do, but I mean, can you give just maybe a short 3-minute elevator, pitch on what is the benefit for me of using QM, I guess, would be a good question.
Absolutely. And actually, we have with us today Chris Volker. She is our K-12 program director. So Chris, I'd like to invite you to turn on your microphone and video to give Steve your elevator speech, if you could. There
Hi,
she
everyone.
is. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Jumping around doing a few different things, so I apologize for that. But Steve, can you repeat your question?
Well, I don't really know if it's so much a question other than me just saying that I really have no idea about QM. So I work in K-12 for a charter school, and
Riverside, right?
Yeah. Method schools we're actually in Murrieta. We work in LA, Orange County also, but we're headquartered pretty much in Murrieta. So I guess I just kind of want to know what's the benefit for me as a leader using QM? I sort of fall in the mid-level leadership role. In charter, it's weird because we wear 5,000 hats, as I'm sure you all do. But
Yeah.
but again, being totally new to this, can you give me just a quick idea of why is QM important to me as a K-12 leader?
Yeah, for sure. So one of, I guess it's threefold. So first is that, well, maybe even fourfold. So, so first is that, we have a lot of guidance for not only improving your online courses, but also for developing your online courses. So one of the things that we have, which is always on my desk right here, is, as you know, I believe, Steve, is a comprehensive rubric for online course design. And so inside there is going to give you it's going to give you information about what you can either put in your course or you can do to your courses to improve them. So that's one thing. Secondly is the professional development that we offer. So we offer lots of professional development on all kinds of different topics, from course design and the elements of, putting that all together with the alignment, to teaching online. So runs the gamut there, right? And then the process. So if you're looking to really dive into a quality assurance process, we really have kind of, like a step-by-step way and a plan to get that quality assurance process in place. And so it'll walk you through, from the beginning steps all the way to elevating it in your whole program. So there's that. And then one of the best things that I think about Quality Matters, especially in K-12, is our community. Actually, for all of QM is the community. But I work mostly, again, with the K-12 community, and we're just, there's lots of things that we're putting into place to help people and build those connections, because so many people who are doing this are so siloed. And so we're helping to bridge those gaps, make those connections. We have collaborative teams where our members step up and kind of run different teams to get people together around professional growth and course reviews and things like that. So lots of different things there, and I'd be happy to talk more about that at a different time when there's more time.
That was great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Cheryl, go ahead with your question.
Cheryl Max. We have a template for our courses, and the instructional designer and myself think that we might be ready for our first QM review. So my question is, when I go to the QM website, I can put in myself as the contact person and the faculty that is doing the instructing. But there's the part about the team. I wasn't sure exactly how the team should be made up, because this is a graduate level executive nurse course. So it's obviously nursing allied health, but it's at the graduate level. So I didn't know if there would be somebody on the team that I should specifically designate, or should I just say allied health or nursing and leave it at that?
So it sounds, Cheryl, like you're asking about the course review application.
Yes.
So the team I think we're referring to there is who was involved in the development of the course. So did you have were there instructional designers, videographers, other people involved besides the faculty member who developed it? Now, if there's only if the faculty developed it themselves, then just state that it's just it was developed by that particular individual. So you can just include that. Does that help?
But I feel like we need to give you ideas on who we want to, for you guys to put together for the review team to give us feedback.
So QM will assign a team that will include a subject matter expert, a master reviewer, and an external reviewer. If QM is managing the review, all of the reviewers will be external to your institution unless you request that for a particular, for a peer reviewer at your institution to be assigned to the team. So, so we do that for all of the courses, all the course reviews that we do make an effort in our quality assurance department to find someone who's taught the same course as the subject matter expert. If we can't do that, then we would definitely find someone in the field. So that's the so when you go to submit your course, that's not about your team, how your team is composed, but rather about who on your team was involved in the development of the course. So are there other people who should be acknowledged other than the course representative on the course review?
Okay.
Does that help?
I think my question was more about the subject expert on your side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a graduate level nurse exec course.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to try to find another graduate level nurse exec reviewer?
Yes.
Or will it just be a nursing person?
No, we would first try to find someone who has taught a graduate level nursing course on executive at that
close
level.
a match as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
When peer reviewers fill out their role application, we ask them about what courses they've taught, and we ask them about their subject matter expertise. So you either have to have a degree in the area, or you have to have taught a course you have to have taught that course. So that's how we ask reviewers to identify themselves in the role application, and all that information goes into our database. So our quality assurance team is really great at finding reviewers who have taught the same courses. Because we have so many wonderful nursing faculty as peer reviewers, it should be no problem for us to find you a peer reviewer who would match your course.
Nurses are a unique breed, aren't we?
We love our nurses, yes.
I know, yeah, love our nurses. In general, though, how long does a QM review process take once it's initiated?
That's a great question, Cheryl. So it starts off with about a 6-week period for the initial course review. And that includes a week to get the team together, have a pre-review conference call with the course representative, and then go on to, then they set a calendar for when they'll have the review completed, agree to when they'll have that completed, and then they go off and do their review in the course review management system individually. The team will have a post-review call once they've completed their initial review, and then the final report is submitted. And that takes about 6 weeks total. If the course meets standards, then the course receives the QM certification mark and the review is finished. If the course doesn't yet meet standards, notice that I said the course doesn't yet meet standards, not that it failed the review, because we never use those words. We don't use pass-fail because we expect that all courses can meet standards. There is a 14-week amendment period from the time that the course review is completed before the course has that opportunity to have changes made so that the course can meet standards. So there's 14 weeks available after that. So you have about 3 months, a little over 3 months to implement the changes. And then the master reviewer on the team, who is the team chair on the course review, goes back in and does they go in and review those standards that were not yet met. The team will have already discussed that in their post-review conference call, so the master reviewer will know what to look for in the course to see if the course then meets the standard after the initial review.
And after those 14 weeks and the master reviewer has come back to see if you've met those criteria, how long is that process? Is that another month or?
Well, once the amendment report is submitted, then the master reviewer is immediately notified, and they usually are very timely about going in and looking at the course. They won't take another month or anything like that. Usually it's maybe a week, maybe two, and then the course would, once it meets those standards or attains the correct scoring level, then it will be certified, and the course will be, the review will be completed. And then after that, there's a review response form that everyone on the team fills out, the course representative and all the reviewers, and they talk about their experience on the review.
Thanks
And
very
we take that information and we learn that really even the reviewers on the team will go make changes to their own courses, but their course isn't even under review. So we find that when they spend time reading the standards and the annotations behind them, they go back and look at their courses with fresh eyes. And we do find that about 90% of reviewers make changes to their own course, even after they've, their course wasn't even under review. So after they participate in a review, that's really the penultimate professional development for them.
Well, we definitely learn from one another, and that's probably why we're all in academia, for that improvement.
Exactly.
So here's a very down to earth kind of question, because when you fill out the application, it talks about the fee that you charge.
Mm-hmm.
Does that bill then come directly to me because I have filled out the application? Can I ask you to send it to somebody else to pay? Just tell me how that works.
Sure. So are you the QM coordinator for your institution?
Yes.
Yeah, so the bill will come to you, but you can ask for it to be sent to another person. You can identify a QM coordinator that is the billing point of contact, and you can go to our website to fill out a form that is add change QM coordinator, and on that page there is a, you can indicate that this individual should be added as a QM coordinator as your billing point of contact. So if there's somebody that you're always sending your invoices to, we can just add that person as a billing point of contact for your institution as a QM coordinator, and they will always get the invoices from QM.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Natasha Nurse Clark. I had a question I'd like to ask.
Please go ahead, Natasha.
Yeah, I just joined QM and I took the Applying the QM Rubric course with the intent of becoming a peer reviewer, but I realized I need a little bit more exposure to the rubric before doing that. I signed up to do the online teaching certificate program. Even though I'm experienced with teaching online, I was wondering, does the course give you more of applications with the QM rubric, or is it more just the basics of teaching online?
The Teaching Online Certificate is really a wonderful program. It doesn't focus on the Quality Matters rubric outside of the Evaluating Your Courses design workshop that you will take, but it does give you a really great knowledge competency level grounding in all of the things that you need to know to be an effective online instructor. Excuse me, there's a workbook that goes along with that. So if you have an online course that you are thinking of improving and you'd like to get a little bit more in depth, I would recommend that you take the Improving Your Online Course workshop, because that one really lets you take the QM rubric standards and apply them to your own course, and you come away from that 2-week workshop with an action plan for how you're going to make your improvements when you're in prioritization, and if you need help with any of those changes that you want to make. So that one will give you more of that experience with the QM rubric. And if you don't have an online course that you but are thinking of creating one, I would suggest the Designing Your Online Course workshop, because that one is that's for people who don't have an online course yet, but they want to develop one in accordance with QM standards. So you design one module in the Designing Your Online Course workshop, and then you can use that framework for development of the other modules in your course.
Okay, I got it. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Other questions? I'd like to welcome Russ Atkins. He's the Vice Chair of our Quality Matters Board of Directors. So thanks for joining us today, Russ.
Thank you. My pleasure. Sorry to be butting in late.
Great to have you. I'd also like to mention Mary Jane Haken is here, and she is our Member Services Manager. So if you have any questions for regarding subscriptions or how your membership works, she's available, as well as Jim Snyder, who is our host in this room. He's our Director of Community Engagement and Marketing. So thanks, Jim.
Problem. I think we officially have 2 or 3 more minutes, but there's nothing in this room after that. But so we could probably stay a couple extra minutes, but just wanted to give you that information.
Anyone else have a question? Your burning questions. This is a safe space.
Sorry, my name's Katrina. I came in
Hi,
late.
Katrina.
Sorry about that. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. I was wondering if sorry, I haven't looked at the website in a while, but when it comes to the membership, is that something that we can get individually, or do we have to have our institution support that? Or okay. All right.
Yes, we have both options available. If you are at an institution and your institution isn't sold on Quality Matters yet, you can get an individual membership.
Okay.
They're $175 for a year. Thanks for joining us, Chris. And you will receive, be sure to, in your MyQM account, include your mailing address, because we will send you a rubric workbook for as part of your membership.
Okay.
And so, and then you're able to use it for your courses and the work that you do, but it can't be like copied and distributed or used institutionally.
Right.
But so that can be a really great way to kind of start and show how you're using it. You will still get the member benefits of Quality Matters member professional development rates and QM member rates on our conferences and events. So you would get all of that, plus you can also use the self-review tool, which is it's a individual review or worksheet that's available for you to do a self-review of your own course, and you can put in your own evidence and your own suggestions for improvement to yourself, and then you can email that to anybody. It creates a PDF and you can send it to yourself, or if you were working with somebody on your courses, then you could send it to them too. So and you can do as many of those as you like.
Thank you. And I have another one if nobody else has a question, so I'll wait.
Go ahead.
All right. I was just wondering if has there been any changes in light of our, I'm in Canada, I should probably say that, and we have all been at home, and we've just got I have the announcement that my children won't be going back to school until May. And I currently work at a higher ed institution, so we're completely done. We're in phases of right now finishing off our winter term. We're preparing for spring, summer, and then we're also going into looking at things in terms of what we're going to do for September. So what I'm finding though is that we're looking at different types of flavors of online. So we have online, we have virtual classrooms, we have remote teaching, and there has been the conscious effort to ensure that teaching online and preparing an online course is very different from what we're doing now. And so I was just wondering, are there any other resources that address this current climate of getting courses online and just instructional continuity and such?
Absolutely. Quality Matters developed and released a few weeks ago the Emergency Remote Instruction Checklist.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And that's, I'm sure Jim's out there grabbing the link right now, and he'll put that in the chat. This is, and we're going to talk more at the town hall at 4:30 about what QM is doing for the response to the COVID-19 crisis. We're working on some professional development packages that can help institutions like yours get going, and so we will be talking about that at the town hall in a little bit more depth. So we are putting some things together for different types of faculty needs that are going to support integrating quality into the things that you're doing, because we do expect that this summer will be, we're expecting a virtual tsunami of, of people coming to us for professional development this summer. And so we are ramping up for that. So we will share some of those things that we have in the works at that point, but we are very aware that there are schools like yours that need to get going quickly.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And also, if there's if there is at all a terms of reference to maybe, I guess, normal or not normalize, but make consistent what we are considering virtual teaching, remote and online, that would be really helpful as well, just so that going forward, when we produce any of the plans, we can kind of be in line with most other people as we all try to make up a lot of things as we go along.
Right. Well, the rubric has been around since 2003, and we're on our 6th edition right now for higher education, and it has that framework in there that you're looking for good course design for online learning. So it will definitely give you the that kind of framework. And we have professional development around, I had mentioned before to Natasha about designing your online course. If you have folks that are in need of getting up quickly, we will be licensing that workshop as well in this fall. I mean, in the summer, I'm sorry, July 1st, it'll be available.
Right. And that does that include, again, very new to all of this, but
sure.
a lot of, again, we've got thoughts on the online course design, like fully fledged online, asynchronous, some synchronous, but now for the summer, we are looking, there has been the proposal to have synchronous online 3-hour classes. So I saw that. If there is anything that can address that as well, that would be, because that is the distinction that we're trying to ensure, that remote teaching is this, and it requires this amount of planning, and online requires that amount of planning, and so on. So
yeah, and the QM rubric was developed for online and blended courses, but we also find that faculty who teach face-to-face and they have taken QM professional development, their teaching is also impacted by QM professional development. And while we don't have specific guidelines for synchronous online, this event today is a real experiment for us in pivoting online as well. So we are learning a lot about best practices in terms of how to be present and inclusive in the online synchronous environment. Right. So, but we also, I was reading on academic Twitter, because I'm a big fan of academic Twitter, about how, we understand that some rules, and Russ probably can speak to this a little bit too, but some rules are about moving, you have to have so much seat time, you have to have so much time with the instructor. Yeah. And so that's, we know for, in the United States, that's part of financial aid. So it may be the same in Canada. Russ, do you have thoughts about that?
No, this is the moving target, and you're very wise, number one, to distinguish between online and remote learning. That's a very wise and smart thing to do. Number two, it's the Wild West, just to get everything over into remote learning. Now I'm understanding that some institutions are beginning to tighten the definition, or to create a definition for remote learning, which includes some requirements for professional development and the like. So stay tuned. I think QM is a good resource to keep on the pulse of what's happening here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So it looks like we have run out of time, but thank you for your wonderful questions. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and there is a survey. If you, Jim has put that. Jim has put that into the chat there too. If you could fill out the survey, we would appreciate your feedback. And if you need anything else, we will be happy to answer any further questions that you have. And if you had a burning question you didn't feel comfortable asking, I will put my email here in the chat. I have a wonderful alias that's just brenda@qualitymatters.org. So thanks so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
All right.
Okay, well, I've got a little help on the line. I cannot get to the conference